Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we are diving into something that literally affects every single one of us. We're looking at the hidden impacts of our daily food choices. We're going way beyond just counting calories here. We're going to uncover how certain foods are, well, quietly pulling the strings on our energy, our mood, and our metabolism, sometimes within literally minutes of taking that first bite. So let's jump right in. Okay, picture this. It's 2 p.m., you're staring at your screen, your eyes are getting super heavy, your focus is completely shot, and weirdly, you're kind of hungry again, even though you just had lunch. We all know that universal afternoon slump, right? We usually just shrug it off as a normal part of the day or, a sign we desperately need another coffee. But what if it's not? What if it's actually a direct biological response to a very specific type of food? Yeah, I'm talking about white carbohydrates. We're looking at refined foods here, stuff like soft white bread, regular pasta, pastries, and those sugary cereals. During processing, these foods are completely stripped of their natural fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Basically the good stuff. And because they're missing that structural fiber, our bodies digest them incredibly fast. And as you'll see in a second, this lightning-fast digestion essentially hacks our biology. It sets off this totally chaotic chain reaction in our blood sugar. To really see how this plays out, let's look at Emma. Emma's working in a busy office, and her go-to morning routine is grabbing a large latte and a butter croissant. Typical, right? Now, by 11 a.m., she's feeling fantastic. She's productive, she's energized, she's crushing it. But hit 2 p.m., it's a total crash. She's completely exhausted, pretty irritable, and already hunting for another coffee and a sugary snack just to make it through the afternoon. This isn't Emma just having an off day. This is a very predictable daily biological cycle. So what's actually happening under the hood? Here is the exact step-by-step chain reaction inside Emma's body. First, that croissant and latte hit her system, causing a massive, rapid blood sugar spike. Second, her body essentially panics at this huge flood of sugar and pumps out a massive amount of insulin to clear it out. Third, because of that giant wave of insulin, her blood sugar plummets just as fast as it went up. And boom, step 4, intense fatigue and cravings hit her like a ton of bricks. Emma isn't just naturally tired, she's strapped into an energy roller coaster that she didn't even know she was on. Now, let's pivot over to Jason for a second. Jason's a university student, and his diet is basically a mountain of biscuits for breakfast, white pasta for lunch, chips, and then pizza at night. But here's the crazy part. Even though he's putting away massive meals with plenty of calories, he's starving again just a couple of hours later. It's this endless loop of snacking. Why does that happen? Why do white carbs do absolutely nothing to keep us full? Well, the real story here is about what Jason is not eating. His meals are completely missing protein, healthy fats, and high-fiber foods. When you build your whole day around refined carbohydrates, you're eating foods that basically have zero staying power. Sure, you're physically filling your stomach in the moment, but you're failing to send the right hormonal signals to your brain to say, hey, we're full, stop eating. So your appetite just stays totally out of whack. Think of it like building a fire. Refined carbs, they're like throwing crumpled paper onto the flames. They burn up in an absolute flash, super fast digestion, almost no fullness, and leaving you wanting more right away. High-fiber foods, on the other hand, are like a thick, sturdy oak log. They digest slowly, and they actively regulate your hunger hormones, giving you this nice, steady, lasting heat. Jason is stuck in that endless snacking loop simply because he's trying to heat his house with paper. But look, it's not just about your energy or feeling hungry. It goes deeper. Let's talk about Michael and his invisible weight gain. Now, Michael wasn't eating deep-fried food every day. He genuinely thought his diet of toast, sandwiches, granola bars, and pasta was totally normal and healthy. Yet, over the years, he just kept gaining this stubborn belly fat and couldn't figure out why. Well, here's a wild fact. Your body can treat a plain, dense bagel almost exactly the same way it treats a bowl of pure sugar when it comes to insulin. Those constant hidden blood sugar spikes from his normal refined carbs were actively signaling his body to store fat, specifically right around his midsection. And we really need to pause on this for a second, because visceral fat, that's the fat that packs itself around the internal organs in your belly. It is not just a cosmetic annoyance. It actively drives up your risk for heart disease, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and even fatty liver disease. It creates this low-grade inflammation throughout your entire body. We aren't talking about this to make anyone feel guilty, right? It's just about having the knowledge to actually protect your long-term health. Which leads perfectly into Sarah's wake-up call. Sarah was huge on sugary cereals and those really sweet coffee drinks, and she thought she was doing fine because she avoided fat. which, by the way, is such a common trap to fall into. But in her early 40s, she started dealing with constant fatigue, she was always thirsty, and her moods were all over the place. A doctor's visit finally revealed she had early insulin resistance. All those hidden sugars and refined carbs had just quietly built up over the years and completely overwhelmed her body's glucose system.
Let's break down how that actually sneaks up on you. Step 1. Your body gets bombarded with high blood sugar day after day from all those refined carbs. Step 2. Your pancreas has to go into overdrive, just desperately pumping out insulin to manage the load. Step 3, and this is the kicker, over time, your cells just get exhausted. They stop listening to the insulin. It's like a car alarm going off constantly in your neighborhood. Eventually, you just tune it out completely. So step 4, because your cells aren't responding anymore, your overall blood sugar control breaks down. And that is exactly the slippery slope toward type 2 diabetes.
And guys, this doesn't just affect our bodies. It hits us right in the brain too. Look at Daniel. Daniel had these super important business presentations in the afternoons, but his routine was eating a massive white pasta dish for lunch. The result? Total brain fog. We're talking extreme sleepiness, slow thinking, and zero concentration right when he needed to be sharpest. Your brain literally runs on stable glucose levels for peak performance. When you spike and crash your blood sugar like that, you are forcing your brain onto a complete mental roller coaster. And that roller coaster isn't just messing with your focus, it heavily impacts your emotions. Take Chloe, for example. After a really stressful day at work, Chloe's way of unwinding was grabbing cookies, ice cream, maybe some white bread. And sure, for about 10 minutes, it felt like a warm hug. But soon after, she'd get hit with anxiety, irritability, a really low mood, and even fiercer cravings. Those wild swings in blood sugar directly mess with our stress hormones. So what Chloe thought was helping her cope was actually just throwing gasoline on our emotional fire. And really, the toll of this stuff is totally systemic. A diet heavy in processed carbs absolutely wrecks your gut health, causing digestive issues and killing off the good bacteria because you're literally starving them of the fiber they need to survive. On top of that, these foods are basically engineered to trigger addiction-like reward loops in your brain, making them nearly impossible to put down. Oh, and it destroys your sleep quality, causing you to wake up at night and feel like a zombie the next morning. So when all of this is piling up, the fatigue, the cravings, the mood swings, the weight gain, it is so incredibly easy to blame yourself. We say things like, I'm just lazy, I have zero willpower, I guess I'm just an always tired person. Does that internal monologue sound at all familiar? We beat ourselves up when we can't stop snacking or when we hit that brick wall at 2 p.m. But listen, if there is one thing you take away from this explainer today, let it be this. It is not a lack of motivation, and it is definitely not a lack of willpower. What you're experiencing is unstable nutrition, creating profound biological energy crashes and hormonal cravings. You aren't failing. Your food is failing you. And the second you reframe this from being some personal character flaw to just a predictable biological reaction, man, you take all your power back. Okay, so how do we actually fix this? First off, we absolutely do not need to demonize or completely banish all carbohydrates. No way. The secret is all in the quality. On one side, we have the troublemakers we've been talking about, the white, refined, stripped-down carbs. But on the other side, we have these incredible whole carbs, things like oats, quinoa, sweet potatoes, beans, lentils. These guys still have all their natural fiber and nutrients intact. They burn slow, they give you that rock-solid, stable energy without the miserable crash. Let's get really practical here, because you don't have to change your whole life overnight. You can literally just start combining your foods smarter. For instance, if you eat a piece of white toast all by itself, you are guaranteeing a fast digestion and a quick crash. But if you just swap that for whole grain toast and throw some eggs on top, you completely alter how your body responds. The protein in the eggs acts like a biological brake pedal. It literally slows down the digestion of the carbs and keeps you full for hours. Another super easy strategy is just making these simple, high-fiber upgrades. Instead of white rice, maybe try some brown rice. Toss out the sugary cereal and go for a warm bowl of whole oats. Swap the mushy white bread for really good, hearty, whole grain bread. These are tiny, totally doable tweaks, but they massively bump up your daily fiber. And remember, fiber is your body's natural blood sugar stabilizer. It keeps hunger completely in check. Now, we absolutely have to talk about what's in our cups, because liquid sugar is in a league of its own. It requires basically zero digestion. It's like a direct injection right into your bloodstream, spiking your sugar in like 15 minutes. Stuff like sodas, fancy sweet coffees, energy drinks, they give you a massive surge of sugar with absolutely zero fullness. The swap here is simple but a total game changer. Hydrate with water, sparkling water, unsweetened tea, or just regular black coffee. Ditching liquid sugar is literally one of the fastest ways to stabilize your energy overnight. Bringing this all together, our main goal is to build what we call the balanced plate. Every time you sit down to eat, just do a quick mental checklist. Do I have some lean protein? Do I have healthy fats? Are my carbs fiber-rich? And did I get a good serving of veggies in there? When you build a plate like that, the meal digests slowly, it feeds your brain, it stabilizes your mood, and it easily powers you right through that dreaded 2 p.m. slump, fixing the exact problems Emma, Jason, and the rest of us run into every single day. Now, I want to be crystal clear as we wrap up this explainer. White carbohydrates are not poison. Having a slice of pizza or a pastry every now and then is a completely normal, enjoyable part of life. We are not aiming for extreme restriction here, and we're definitely not trying to make you terrified of carbs. Honestly, that mindset almost always backfires anyway. The goal is simply aiming for better quality, better balance, and a bit of portion control in your everyday routine. Perfection is absolutely not the goal, just awareness.
Which brings me to one final, really important question for you. What is one small swap you are going to make to transform your energy today? You've got the science now. You know it's about biology, not willpower. So are you going to add an egg to that morning toast? Maybe swap out that sweet afternoon latte for some crisp, unsweetened tea? Just pick one tiny change today, and honestly, watch how quickly your body says thank you. Keep learning, keep experimenting with that balance, and I will catch you in the next explainer.